This is the Focusrite Scarlett 18i20 4th generation, and this audio interface here is a home studio hub. And if you are a singer, songwriter, musician, content creator, or podcaster, and you don't want to break the bank, you should probably consider this audio interface. Let's talk about it. What's up, Archie Beats here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my home studio. Today we have the Focusrite Scarlett 18i20 4th generation, and it is a very strong contender. Not only does this interface provide easy routing capabilities, it possesses a clip-safe feature which prevents you from having any type of distortion in your recording, and a smart multi-channel auto gain which assists you on setting those proper levels when it comes to your signal to noise ratio. So basically this assists you on getting a cleaner recording with as much signal as possible and a smaller noise floor. As you can see, the metering system is easy on the eyes, and for this audio interface to be rack mountable, it comes with the option rack ears on it, so you can pop those on and pop it in your rack system, or you can sit it on your desk. This is only $699, a pretty fair price point, especially for what it does. And a huge thank you to Sweetwater Sound for sponsoring today's video. For those of you who don't know, Sweetwater is the largest music retailer in the United States with over 40,000 pieces of gear to choose from. They have tons of Focusrite gear, from the smaller audio interface to the larger interface, from preamps to everything. So if you are a music producer, engineer, content creator, DJ, a cinematographer, they have something for you on there. So be sure to check out Sweetwater Sound in the description below. And if you use any of those links, you help this channel out, and I continue to make more cool videos like this. So thank you guys, and be sure to check out Sweetwater Sound below. So let's go over the physical features on this audio interface, and then let's jump on the screen with the Focusrite Control 2 control panel for this audio interface, and we're going to talk about the features and the routing that works on your computer in conjunction with your actual hardware. Let's take a look. So as you can see, this is a simultaneous 24 by 28 audio interface, including 16 channels of ADAT. The number of preamps on this interface is a staggering 8. As you can see on the front panel here, we have control over those inputs and preamps. So starting here on this side, these two inputs here are Neutrik tips, combo, XLR, and 1/4 inch. These are also high Z inputs as well. I think it's really cool for this interface to have two XLR combo jacks at the front. Just keep this in mind. The two inputs at the back, it eliminates the back connectors, so they won't be in the circuit. You can't use those as extra channels if you utilize these two at the front. So 1 and 2 at the front is congruent with 1 and 2 at the back. And next is your select buttons for those channels and the 8 preamps. Remember, I told you guys these have 8 preamps. It's not 4. They don't split it. They actually are all equipped with high quality preamps, and this button here select those channels with those preamps. Next, we have the actual gain knob. This input gain knob here, it gives you control of the input levels. Next is the link button. This is how you create stereo pairs with your input channels. So when you hit the link button here, you can stereo pair 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. That's how that works here. And then your auto gain button. So basically, if I set my auto gain signal here, this will give me the ability to auto set my gain. You press the auto gain button, you speak or sing into this microphone or play your instruments, and during this auto gain, there will be a countdown that you can actually see. And then what's going to happen is going to automatically set the levels for you. This is actually fantastic. I really like this setting here. Sometimes it's cool to see what the auto approach is versus the manual approach, and you figure out which one works best for you. The next button is the phantom power, and the phantom power is what initiated the U87 right here. If you have a condenser microphone that requires phantom power, you press that button to power your microphone through this audio interface. And then this save feature here is really cool. It prevents you from clipping. Hey, this is what home studios need. Learn how to do this without these features, but at the same time, it's cool that this exists for people that are starting out. And then your instrument button. This button is what makes the difference between mic level and line level. When you hit that instrument button, we are going to line level. And the air button is you press the air button. This is where you get that nice Focusrite signature sound. The air presence is an analog circuit. It gives presence and boost to your source. And also the air presence adds harmonics in addition to analog air in the circuit. really cool that we have access, especially on units like this that doesn't break the bank. This is a good feature to have. And then of course we have our meters here, meters 1 through 8. It shows us our signal levels and our analog out of our 8 analog inputs or the outputs. And these meters are aligned with the scale. And for all of you nerds out there, this is -42 to 0 dBFS. And you use the output button to change the meters from input to output. We have our meters left and right, and then we have our alt button. You press this to route the signal going from the first monitor 1 and 2 to the second monitor 3 and 4, or however you have your outputs there. So this gives you the ability to use more than one stereo pair of monitors. You press that button, it goes to the next, and it lights up and does its cool thing. And then the output button, just change the meters 1 through 8 to show the output metering from outputs 3 to 4. And outputs 1 and 2 still appear on the left and right button. And then the dim, you press the dim button to reduce it by 18 decibels. That's what the dim button is. Remember, dim, it turns the sound down, it turns the audio down. And then the mute button, it cuts everything, silence the entire output. And then your main output control, this is actually the big button here that controls the output of the audio interface. Whichever monitor you have selected, this will actually control the output of that. And it's independent of the headphones. And then we have our status icon, which is USB. So when your USB is lit up, that means that you are connected successfully. And the lock button is your sync status. This lights up green with your Scarlett. It's synchronized with itself and external devices. So that's good to know. You have your talk here. You hold the talk down to activate your talk back. So you can talk to the person that's in the booth through their headphones, and that's how this works. And there is an auto dim setting here as well. So we're going to talk about that a little more as well. And then our headphone control, as you can see, the headphone controls are here. And I like the way everything is lit right here. This is really cool to have. And then our power switch. The power switch, the 0 is actually off. The I is on. The long line is on. So pop, pop, pop. Now let's jump to the back panel. As far as our back panel, everything with the inputs run congruent with the back panel here. Let's start from here. My U87 is plugged into this. It's not plugged into a preamp. This is actually the direct signal, no processing or anything. This is the microphone going directly into the audio interface. And you see we have our 8 channels here. Now remember, when you initiate that high Z at the front, these 2 channels here, or you plug in a microphone at the front, this is gone. The circuit is finished. It's nothing's going to go through here. It's cut. So if you utilize 2 at the front, these 2 at the back are no longer usable. And then the 4 after that, these are combo jacks as well. Neutral combo jacks, really high, really clean, as you can hear. And then as you can see, we move over on the other side. These are all of our outputs. You see those 10 outputs there? That's pretty rad. The 10 outputs and 8 inputs over here. These are 1/4-inch connectors on the output. You have your main outs, which is what I'm going directly into the camera right here. And then right here, we have our MIDI output and our MIDI in. For those of you who have those MIDI instruments in your studio, and I know I do, and this is really cool. Like I said, in this price point, to have MIDI in and out, this is the home studio hub. So as you can see, we have our optical 1 out and 1 and 2, and then our in 1 and 2. These are 4 Toslink connectors for up to 16 channels of digital audio in and out. And this is for the ADAT input format. You have 44.1 and the 48 kilohertz of resolution, and then you have 88.2 to 96 kilohertz of sample rate here. And from there we have our SPDIF, and then we have our word clock. So if you are using BNC, you do like film, and then of course the USB. There is a piece of tape that covers that up when you pull it out of the box, but the USB-C connector there. And then we have our power connector here for our IEC cable that plugged into the wall. So here is the screen, and as you guys can see, we have the interface posted here. And let's go to input. So as soon as so it's a really simple process. You plug in USB and your folder for the Scarlett is going to pop up, and you can do your installation from there. You get some cool things from Addictive Drums, and it's just some really cool goodies that you get with this interface. So we have our auto gain. This signal here, let's talk about it. This is from auto gain. Let's do auto gain again so you guys can get the concept of it. This is analog 1, and as you can see, let's hit done. Let's do it again. So you see that we have all the channels. They're not selected because we're talking through this microphone here, and I'm just trying to get a better signal. So that's why you guys see it hitting a little hot, but our signal to noise ratio is pretty good. So what I do is we hit the auto gain. check, mic check. We're talking into the microphone. We're talking into the microphone. It's getting our signal. It sounds low right now. And then it's going to set us up for good. So now this is where it says we should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little boost. And so you guys can hear it. So you guys can hear it on the actual camera because the output is just weird. So we're making up for it but it was a great signal. It decided that we were going to hit around 24 and 20, between 24 and 20, being a good distance. I'm about 8 inches from the microphone. I'm talking down. This is not a proper way to record. Stand up straight, tilt your head a little bit, just a little bit, and be about 6 inches from the microphone, or like this right here, if you guys can see that. It's a little blurry, but this is how we do it. And we also have phantom power here. And this is the input screen. Everything is running smooth. We got a good signal here. We have good output signal. These are 8 channels of analog. So let me explain something to you guys. When you first pop this audio interface in, very important, go to your mixer and turn up your analog 1 to nominal 1 so you can get a signal in your routing. And then you just basically, now you have a signal coming through. So here are the steps. If you have a condenser microphone, activate your phantom power. If you need help with your smart gain, select smart gain, talking to the mic, get a great signal, and then it will set the signal for you. Hit done, and make sure, like I said, before you do any of that, and if you want the signal to your headphones, go down and make sure you hit analog 1 and make sure it's turned up in your mixer and router. So, and this is weird, I was playing around here. And the same with channel 1, 2, 3, and all the way to 8. And then your playback is here. This is like not necessary, but I have this up here. And then you have your SPDIF, ADAT over here. You guys see the light pipe at the back, the Toslink connectors. This is what all of this is corresponding with. You guys saw the RCA SPDIF in and out at the back of this audio interface. That's what that is for. And then our ADAT, it does the same thing here. Now with our routing, we can come here to our main routing and you can send this where you need to send it to. So if you go back up here to your mixer, you see that you have mix A, mix B, mix C, mix D, and mix E, and mix F. You have the option of selecting those mix so you can send different mixes to your headphones. However you want to move your signal, you have the ability to do it, which, like I said, in this price range of this audio interface, it's really cool. You're getting the inputs and outputs, you're getting the MIDI, you're getting the ADAT capabilities, you're getting your SPDIF and your BNC, your word clock here. So this audio interface really takes it home and does its thing. So let's go ahead and also show you all how the air and the safe work. Let's start with safe. If we do our safe, it's going to make sure that we are clipped. Do you hear that? That we had a change there. And this is the safe to make sure that we will never distort. So no matter how loud I get, it's going to do its thing. So that's a safeguard there. Nice guardrail. You guys see it in real time. And now we have our air. So this is air. Let me get closer up to the microphone and let's do drive now. Now the drive adds a little drive and a little grit to it, but it also has air as well. So that's a pretty good option to have there. And it took the drive out, and let's work with them together. So if we do our drive and air, really cool. So that means that you have a kind of voice tone shaper, just shaping, tonal shaping. You have signal, like this is insane. You hear that sizzle up top? That's the actual air working at full force right there. And then we took it out. You heard the signal lost something there. So air is a really great thing to have and a really great boost. And it sounds really nice with the U87. Especially with this microphone having that nice 10K boost and at present. So I really do hope that you all enjoyed this video. The Focusrite Scarlett 18i20 4th generation is a bang for the buck, awesome audio interface. As you can see, you got that present boost, the air, all of that. It has multiple options of, like I said, I can't stress the fact that the inputs, the outputs, the MIDI, just you have options with this audio interface. You can actually grow into this audio interface and expand it. Add a preamp to it, add compressor. This is the pure signal. And as you can see, we are getting some great things here. And my channel was practically built off audio interfaces. And the Scarlett was one of the first audio interfaces that, you know, I was like, whoa, people need to know about this, especially if they're trying to start a recording studio. And I didn't even have a Scarlett as my main audio interface, but I knew it was such a great audio interface to invest in. and especially if you don't want to break the bank. So be sure to check out Sweetwater Sound in the description below, and check out the Focusrite Scarlett and all of the other products. So if you have any questions, be sure to comment them below. I'll be happy to answer them. We are almost 2 decades in with Focusrite. So just comment below, and thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting my channel. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to be great and create. This is your Barcher Beats, and I am signing off.